clubs, ace of diamonds, watch the ace of diamonds.
The ace of diamonds, the nine of clubs, ace of diamonds, watch the ace of diamonds. I am Daniel Madison and this is the Mad Switch.
Ace of diamonds, watch the ace of diamonds.
Pay close attention to the ace of diamonds. I am Daniel Madison and this is the Mad Switch. The ace of diamonds, the nine of clubs, ace of diamonds, watch the ace of diamonds. I am Daniel Madison and this is the Mad Switch. Charlie, boy, do I have a good video today? Today, I decided it's finally time to teach the mad transposition. People keep banging on about my videos being too long, so I'm gonna try and speed this one up and get straight to it. You're Charlie Madison, I'm Daniel Madison, this is the Mad Switch.
I've finished with your frozen sausage. Do you want it back? Oh, you're far again. I'll just put it in your special drawer for you, okay? See you later, but I love you back!
Again, ace, king, ace goes here, king goes here. You tell them to put a hand on the back of the ace. By the time they do it, you've already switched to playing cards. Once again, these can be signed playing cards and you're completely clean. Damn, that looks good. I am Daniel Madison, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Thank for choosing to spend some time with me and Charlie Madison today. We appreciate it. On the approach to 50,000 subscribers here on YouTube, which is madness. I didn't just want to do one thing special. I wanted to make a huge difference. Now, I don't believe you can take on something as big as YouTube half-assed. You can't take on a task this big with a floppy sausage. For me to create this kind of content and deliver the tutorials I'm doing, can't do it half-assed, so I'm all in. You have to be all in. So as of today, I'm happy to announce that I'm officially calling myself a YouTuber. And I never thought I'd say that, but on approach to 50,000 subscribers and the audience is there, the audience wants what I'm teaching. That's so special to me, it really is. So on the approach to 50, it's time to start teaching some serious sleight of hand, some devastating sleight of hand. And what better way to start than with the mad transposition? Now, I'm learning from every video that I do. I'm learning what people want, what they don't want. So many people, thanks Charlie, so many people say that my videos are too long, so I'm working on that. I'm working on condensing everything, but at the same time, sleight of hand is an art. Learning sleight of hand is not an easy process, so sometimes when the videos are long, it's because they have to be. I take this seriously. This is my life, so I'm not going to rush it. I'm not going to squeeze it in just because people want the videos to be a little bit shorter. Where I can, I will. I'll make videos easier to watch in a short time, but for those people who are serious about learning sleight of hand and learning sleight of hand correctly, then those people will look forward to long videos because there's more information in there. I wouldn't say it if I didn't need to. I wouldn't give you the information if it was unnecessary. So when videos are long, it's because they have to be. That being said, I'm wasting time right now. Let's get straight into this one. Grab yourself a deck of playing cards. I'm Daniel Madison and this is the Mad Switch. So ace of diamonds, nine of clubs, the ace goes here and the nine goes here. By the time we turn the ace over, it has become the nine and the nine has become the ace. This is the basic, this is the first one that I'm going to teach you. This is essentially the mad transposition. And I'm going to teach you a few different variations of this, but I just wanted to start by exposing the basic mechanics of the first one. This involves a duplicate playing card and some lapping, but do not worry, the word lapping and the idea of lapping playing cards does scare a lot of people, but we're going to go over everything, and by the end of this, by the time you've learned this, you're going to be very comfortable with the idea of performing this. There are a few different ways that don't require lapping, but I wanted to start off by exposing the basic version. So we start with the signed playing card in between two duplicates. Obviously the participant doesn't see this because you present these as two playing cards. I present the ace of diamonds with the nine of clubs hidden behind it. I have the other duplicate here. Now I hold these as two playing cards, and For the handling of this, the way that I handle it for the demonstration on film, the 9 of clubs goes here, so I put the corners together here like this, and I pinch them there, so they're held at the corners. This allows me to pivot the 9 of clubs on top of the ace of diamonds. Finger 1 goes on the side here, or closer to the thumb here. This means that when I push this card over, if that finger isn't there, you stand a chance of this playing card spinning away from the 9. You just don't want that to happen. Also, you want to be able to line that 9 of clubs up perfectly with the ace of diamonds. So if your finger's there, you can stop right on point. So the ace of diamonds here, you can display both close like this. Now my hand's in position to both straighten up the cards, get some focus, straighten up the cards, but also finger 1's going to reach under and peel away the bottom playing card. This is going to be a 9 of clubs, so I don't want the participant to see it. There's something really nice about this from here, visually deceptive when you go like this, clean, and then instantly take that bottom card out. The psychology of this is a beautiful thing because you can still see the 9 of clubs, and you know that the ace of diamonds is underneath the 9, so when I take it, there's no question that that's going to be a different card. There's no question about it because it has to be. One of the beautiful things here is that you are displaying the 9 of clubs almost throughout, especially at the dirty moment. This is a dirty moment right now when I peel that bottom playing card out, because now we have 2 9 of clubs in play. This one and this one. This one looks like the ace of diamonds, but of course it's hidden here. Now the lapping version of this, I am in position right now to lap that 9 of clubs, and it's simply a matter of tilting the playing cards out of sight like this, over the edge of the table like this, and then just letting go of the 9. Now I have the ace, the 9's here, and the transposition is completely complete. It's fully complete. So in a bit of real time, that looks like this. 9 here, ace here, I put the ace here, I have the 9. By the time we turn the ace over, it's the 9, and the ace is here. We'll deal with the performance side of this in a moment. I want to expose all the mechanics first. So that's variation 1. The second version allows us to achieve the same thing without lapping any playing cards. So it's essentially the same thing. We're going to hold everything in the same way from here to here. Take the ace down like this. Now I have 2 playing cards held here at my fingertips. I'm going to gesture for the participant to either put a frozen sausage on the back of this card or put the finger on the back of this card. When I do this, I'm going to steal the 9 of clubs in a tenkai palm, which I just did. This exposes the ace of diamonds. At the same time, when I do that, I'm going to tilt this card back slightly so you can't see the face of it. So it should just look like I've tapped on this card while turning this card slowly towards myself. It's a very natural moment, a very natural move. There shouldn't be anything suspicious happening. It just looks like a flowing moment. So I'm holding the 9 here. I tap the back of this card. I steal the 9 from it. So from an exposed point of view, they're held directly in position. This card, I make sure I have to go over the front of this card. So it's over here. If it's over here, it's not going to work because then I'd have to go there and there. I want it to be in a position where it looks really natural, so I don't move this, I don't manipulate this, I more manipulate this in my body. So if I am here, then I'll slowly move over here. So now I can go point at this and then come back stealing the 9. Obviously when I do this, it's open, it's face up, so I do it like this. And bear in mind that everybody's going to be following your instructions. They're going to be doing what you're telling them. So when I say put your finger on the ace of diamonds, that's a big moment. It's a big action that makes you look away from what's going on over here. Makes you look away from the palm. So from here, now I'm in position to be completely clean. I can either keep this in my palm, which is the whole point, to avoid lapping. At the same time, if you can afford to lap, then it would look like this. Put your finger on the back of the card here. I've done the switch. Now when my hand goes back to the table, I'm just going to drop the playing card down to my lap or to the floor. So let's do that in real time so you can see exactly what's happening. So ace 9, I close, take the ace, put it here. Put your finger on the back of this card for me please. and I'm now already switched. Now the third version of this is not as clean visually, but it's equally as clean in terms of the sleight of hand, and it does open up a lot more avenues of what you can do when cleaning up that playing card, essentially because these playing cards are face down most of the time. So what I do is take these cards, I can show the ace in the 9, so I do this and I put the top card on there and say, look, ace of diamonds goes on the table. I don't have to show it because I'm now going to show this card. So the psychology of that means that I don't have to, like, I've seen so many magicians doing this, over-proving, look, 9 of clubs, ace of diamonds. At this point you can just put this here and show this, because that has to be the ace of diamonds. There's so many magicians at this point will go 9 of clubs, ace of diamonds. Look, I will put the ace of diamonds here, right? And now I have the 9 of clubs, so that must be the ace, right? Over-proving. There's no need to do it, because visually you can see that that card is the ace of diamonds. If I try to convince you of something that you already know, all I'm doing is inviting you to be suspicious. So to make things easy, I just hold the cards like this. Look, 9 and ace. Ace goes here. Put your hand on the back of the ace for me, please. And by the time they've done it, I've managed to switch. I've got the ace here and the 9 is here. Meanwhile, I have a palm, the 9 of clubs, and it's up to me what I do with it from that point. So what this version allows you to do, because the playing cards are face down, 9 ace. I showed this one last time. This is the convincer. As soon as people have seen this and I turn it face down, I'm quite free and flexible with what I can do with this now, because this is hidden. So I could show it like this. I could come over to the edge of the table and lap it again, drop it off. I could execute a whole number of different palming techniques. So for example, I could put it over into this hand. 9 of clubs, I could hold it here and push off the 9 into the palm, so it still looks like the same card. There's so many different things that you can do with it, depending on what you're doing at the time, what your performance is, the style of the trick. But those are the basic mechanics. As a fourth and final version, a very, very visual version that I love to do. This is something that you can only do at a table if you're prepared to execute this in the lapping sense. So I go from here, take the ace, put it here. Obviously that's the 9, I still have the ace. Now I still have the ace here. So in an instant moment, I throw the 9 across the table, and as it flies across the table and lands, it becomes the ace. And essentially when I throw it back to throw, I'm throwing the 9 of clubs off onto my lap, and the card goes down like this. So in real time that would look like this. So I put the ace down here, I've got the 9 here, and it's slid off the table. Let me put my hand there so that can't happen. So the 9 here, like this. Starting right from the beginning, how do you get into position to execute a transposition? It's very easy, very, very easy. First of all, obviously you need a duplicate in your deck of playing cards. Fortunately, so many people who make playing cards these days include duplicates in their playing cards, including me. So when you open a brand new deck of playing cards from me, you will see a duplicate 9 of clubs, a duplicate king of diamonds in every single deck. These are of vital importance to deception. There's no tool greater, no gimmick or device or gaff card more devastating than just a duplicate. Back in my earlier days, I would always buy more than one deck of playing cards so that I could take playing cards out of this deck and put them into the other deck, just so that I could have this situation. Not just for transpositions, but for a whole number of tricks. These days, not only do I have the king and the 9 as extra playing cards in my decks, I never leave home without an index, without the advocate in my pocket. For those people who don't know what the advocate is, I'll be teaching it on this channel very soon, so make sure you're subscribed. The idea of doing magic and doing tricks for people with a signed playing card, obviously it proves that there's only one of that playing card in existence. There's only one ace of diamonds signed in this way, so it makes everything a little bit more impossible, especially when it comes to proving the trick afterwards. And the signed playing card doesn't lend itself to any trick in quite the same way as it does with a transposition, simply because if I show you the ace of diamonds, so we have the ace of diamonds, I put it here, you put your finger on the back of it, and I show you the 9. There's no two ways that could be, or this could be a duplicate ace of diamonds, because it's signed, because it's got a signature on. The beautiful psychology of this is, because one playing card's signed, nobody thinks to question the 9, or the king, or the duplicate. No one seems to question it. It's a strange thing, but because one playing card's signed, and because it's the playing card that they selected, then nobody questions, especially when the 9 of clubs is seen as a random playing card. So for example, the reason I mentioned the advocate, by the way, I would say to somebody at the start of a trick, I would say, name any playing card. They name it, I give them the card, they sign it, and then I say, name any other playing card. So they say the 9 of clubs. As they say that, I get the 9 of clubs out of my index and bring it into the deck. That way, we have a duplicate 9 of clubs and an ace of diamonds. I have a duplicate of the playing card that person named. So now we're not only using the ace of diamonds that they named and signed, but we're also using the 9 of clubs that they also named. For me, this is important. I don't think it's going to be very important for many people watching. It might be quite irrelevant, but it's definitely worth mentioning. So we're using these playing cards. That's, by the way, that's how I usually get into this trick. I don't always use the 9 or the king. I'd usually call in my index. But to prepare for this trick, you need to end up in a position where you have this on top of the deck. 2 9s and an ace between. So I'm going to take all 3 playing cards and I'm going to display them like this. Simply show them as a 9 of clubs and ace of diamonds, hiding the 9 of clubs behind the ace of diamonds. From this position, I'm going to show you the one where we're going to do the 10 cards duel. From this position, I simply just turn everything down in my hand. So these are all turned face down, and I say ace of diamonds. I've already mentioned this before, but if I overprove it, if I say, look, ace of diamonds, look, ace of diamonds, this is the 9, so that has to be the ace. If I overprove it, then I'm inviting skepticism. So I just put them face down in my hand. I put this card here and say, look, put your hand on the back of the ace of diamonds. I don't make a point of showing this, but I subtly show it. Now I come back down here, and as they're putting their hand over the back of this card, I'm free to not worry about anybody looking at what's happening over here as I execute the slide. I know I've showed you this already, but the execution of the slide looks very slow. Like, it doesn't need to be a fast movement, this, as long as you get that bottom card to separate from the top card. Now gives me the freedom to come over, take this card and get rid of the dirty card, get rid of the 9 of clubs. Now, with it being palmed, if the deck's close by, I can simply just pick the deck up. Meanwhile, the 9's at the bottom of the deck now. You don't need to do that. Let's try and keep focus on the deception itself. So that's like the first idea. The reason I came up with this, one of the drives behind this, I wanted this trick to be included in my Dangerous DVD that I did with Theory 11, but it never made it. The simple idea that most transpositions that you see happen like this, they happen on top of the deck. So the magician would say, look, I have the ace of diamonds, I'm going to put it here, put your hand on the back. Now I have the 9 of clubs, and I'm going to make them switch places, and they do. I never liked the idea of using the deck. I always thought, if you could make this look a little bit more impossible, how would you do it? Well, to me, it'd be just 2 playing cards. You wouldn't need the deck. So that's what led me to this. So my first version of this ever was pretty much what I've shown you. Showing these 2 cards, putting the ace here, put your hand on the back, show you this, and then our gamblers cop the hell out of that card, and then you've achieved the slide. So from then, now that I've mastered that one, I started thinking, how do we make this more impossible? How do we make this more realistic? And then I discovered the idea of, there's quite a few things going on here, so bear with me. Number 1, holding the playing cards. If you can hold the playing cards and handle the playing cards the least amount of time possible, if you can touch them in the least way possible, the deception looks so much more realistic. So all of a sudden, if you can hold playing cards right at the end at your fingertips, just pinching them, and still achieve sleight of hand, this looks unbelievable. It looks like nothing could be done with the way that I'm holding these playing cards. So that's what first led me to develop this idea. So I'm holding everything at my fingertips, push the 9 over, very carefully take that ace, put it here. Now I've got the 9 on display still at my fingertips, and I say, look, put your hand on the back of the ace. Now I'm done. I get rid of the 9 over the edge of the table. By the time they look back, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to start going, wow. I don't have to do anything. I'm still holding it here. Obviously I'm tilting it towards myself at that point so they don't see it, they're looking at this side. But all I have to do is this. And I haven't moved in the slightest. My hand's still here, I'm still holding to the fingertips. It's a miracle. It looks like a miracle. Now obviously, when we're at a table, the idea of lapping, get used to the idea of lapping by the way, and please, if you don't lap, then you're missing out on so many beautiful deceptions. If you don't want to lap that playing card, obviously you can keep hold of it from this performance. So from here, put the ace here, put your hand on the back of the ace for me. The trick is revealed like this. They look back here, they see that this is no longer the 9 but the ace. They don't want to look at this hand because the other playing card's there. They're going to look at this playing card. They don't want to look anywhere else other than turn this playing card over where they're going to reveal the 9 of clubs. So why would they be looking for the 9 of clubs if it's there? So no one's looking for this card is what I'm trying to say. However, from this position, once you've taken that bottom card and put it here, put your hand on the back of the ace for me please. Once you're here, you can, if you want, this is completely up to you, you can if you want put this playing card down so that you're completely free, take the deck back, lose that 9 underneath. You could ditch that 9 in your pocket. For me, I never worry about where the 9's going, I never think about it. It's not part of the trick, it's not part of the deception, it's just one of those things that's by the by, you know. Certainly if I'm at a table, I'll lap it, I'll put it on my lap, or just drop it to the floor. Or if you have any kind of hold out devices, I don't know, but I don't ever think about it because the performances are so strong that everybody's just looking at these 2 cards. They don't want to inspect anything else. And of course, because you have a playing card here, they can inspect everything. And they can inspect the deck for duplicates. Not that they would, but all the questions are already answered right there in front of you. Now, if we look at a different version of this, so the idea where you're going to lap it at the table. Lapping, I don't want to cover lapping too much in this, but obviously I have to show you everything. So I will go here, take the bottom card here. This is I messed up a bit there, but it doesn't matter. From here, I would come to the table like this. I'd say, look, put your hand on the back of this playing card. Just very slowly move my way, and all I'm looking at is their eye line. I'm not looking at this, I'm not looking at this. I'm not making sure there's enough distance, I'm not making sure I'm over the edge. I'm not looking at anything but their eyes. I look them in the eye. This does a few things. One, it usually makes them look at you. It usually makes them look up at you. If they do that, then I can just drop the card over like this. It doesn't matter if it catches the edge. I know, Charlie, it hit the edge, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it hits the edge. It doesn't matter if it drops from here. And there's this big window because they're looking where they're supposed to be looking. They're not looking at the deception. They're looking at either you, but mainly why I'm looking at them. I want to make sure they're not looking at this. The only way I can do that is by looking at them. So I look at them. Then when I execute the deception, it adds another level of reality, of realism to it, because one huge mistake that magicians make is they look at their deceptions. They look at those playing cards when they're double lifting. They look at the card that they're copying. It's kind of an ego thing. It's kind of an ego. They want to make sure they've got it right, but also they want to appreciate it. If one of the biggest lessons I can give you when executing and practicing deception with playing cards with anything, eye contact. So much eye contact. So at that deceptive moment, when I'm here, I'm not looking at these playing cards. I'm looking at the person. I'm looking at them. I'm saying, look, take the ace of spades. My head's up now as I put it down. I'm not looking at anything here. And as soon as I know they're not looking here, I'll slowly come to the table and drop that card over, and then come back up like this. Now I'm ready to just expose the playing card like this. I've been careful to save my time in this video to talk about the most important things, but also to demonstrate to you a deception that looks impossible, that's actually quite easy, just to express what I want for the future of this channel. This is the kind of stuff that I'm going to be sharing from now on. I'm only going to share golden sleight of hand techniques, golden magic tricks on this channel. This is my future now, and I'm glad that you're all here to share it with me. The only thing I ask in return, make sure you subscribe so that you get that notification when my next tutorial drops. And we're almost at 50,000 subs too, which is very special to me. I want to do something special, so keep your comments coming in, keep your suggestions. I want to do something special for that video. As you can see, the future's already changing and it's going to be a good future on this channel. You want to learn real magic, sleight of hand in the best possible way, you came to the right place. That's right, Charlie. I'm Daniel Madison, this was the Mad Switch. See you next time. Try that again. Hold on.
Danny, I've got some bad news for you. Your 14 frozen sausages have all gone floppy. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna try freeze them again back in freezer.